Skip Bayless says Sophie Cunningham taking advantage of Caitlin-Clark relationship. During an August 19 episode of her Show Me Something podcast, Indiana Fever star Sophie Cunningham called Skip Bayless out for asserting that the Fever or the WNBA were lying about the true nature of Caitlin-Clark's injury. "Dude, that's literally," Cunningham said when her co-host West Wilson brought up Bayless' comments. "Like, no one is lying." Wilson then quoted some of Bayless' comments saying maybe Caitlin-Clark is taking a couple injury breaks just because she needed a mental break from all the jealousy and resentment and bullying and cheap shots. "Okay, here's the thing. When you're an elite level player, not being able to play is the hardest part. Mentally, physically, emotionally," Cunningham responded. "So when people say stuff like that, it's just shut up, bud." Skip Bayless responds to Sophie Cunningham. It didn't take Bayless long to offer his own rebuttal about what Cunningham said, which he conveyed in an August 25 episode of The Skip Bayless Show. Skip started by offering some backhanded compliments of Cunningham, saying nobody knew her when she was in Phoenix and noting her unremarkable stats in her first 6 WNBA seasons. Then Cunningham was traded to Clark's Fever team, and Bayless said, "And did Cunningham ever start taking advantage of that? She quickly befriended Caitlin, that was smart, and she took the role of Caitlin's on court, and in interviews protector did that ever quickly endear her to Caitlin's billions of fans out there." He then spoke about Cunningham's provocative pre-game outfits, addressed her increased social media following, and later noted that Cunningham has been a better shooter than Clark this season. "Sophie Cunningham has done a pretty great job of filling Caitlin-Clark's void," Bayless added. He doubled down on the feeling that Clark has decided to shut things down this season so she can be healthy for 2026 before speculating on the nature of Clark's injuries. He later continued, "Of course Sophie ripped me. Even though Sophie, that wasn't a criticism. Of course Sophie was very careful not to mention what I prominently mentioned on my podcast, and that's Caitlin's mind-boggling shooting slump. Sophie Cunningham is a shrewd operator. Obviously she didn't wish injury on Caitlin. But has one named Sophie ever benefited from Caitlin's stranger and stranger second season?" he concluded. One would have to imagine that these comments will make their way back to Cunningham. And time will tell whether she decides to respond to Bayless' comments once more.